All right, so let's say you bought this Swiss Trax RibPax flooring and you're wondering how it's going to hold up over the years. So I thought I'd give a little video on what it actually takes to clean this stuff up, what it looks like before as well as after. So I'll give you some footage on what the different tiles look like right now. So I installed these in 2015. It is 2025, they're 10 years old. I have not replaced any of them. Although they are quite filthy. I park 2 cars in here in the wintertime. I weld in here. I do a lot of woodworking in here. I do spray painting in here. I painted 2 vehicles in here, albeit inside of a paint booth. Check out that video. And you know, this is kind of what it looks like. So it's filthy, and we're going to see how clean we can get it. I have cleaned it sort of twice before. In that 10-year span, it's probably been 3 years since I've done it, and it's due. One of the cool things about this product is all your kind of sawdust and your grime and stuff falls through to the bottom, particularly in the wintertime, and so it accumulates underneath. So you'll see underneath it is vicious down there, and you can't just spray this down, soap it where it lies, because as soon as you hit it with a pressure washer, all that stuff jumps up into the air. It's all over your walls, all over yourself. So you have to actually pull it all out, clean it separately, pressure wash it, and then bring it back into a clean floor. So that's what we're gonna be doing in this video. Stay tuned. Jurassic Jack and I started by getting the lift up on its wheels and moving it over to the far side, and then pulling out different strips of the tiles here. And here you can see what kind of mess we're dealing with. And it's fairly quick to sweep it up, but there's a lot of dirt. That can was actually immovable by the end of this. And I started wetting the one side down and thought, you know what, I'm going to put the lift here first before I finish, because it needs its own kind of bath. And so I'm using basically just car wash soap here and pressure washer here to mostly clean it off. It does a reasonable job. It's not great, but it doesn't need to be perfect. And then pulling out the other side. So you can see just like what the mess really looks like underneath here. It's absolutely filthy. On the plus side, it kind of absorbs some of the oil that was down there. And here you go. Here's some just like leaves and mud. And this is right where my car parks for most of the winter here. So everything that falls off the car from the winter snow ends up there. And cleaning up the other side now just with the broom. And then hosing it out here with the pressure washer. Alright, so now we're actually coming to cleaning the tiles, and again I'm hitting them with soap, and I scrub them with a stiff bristle brush, and that gets off most of this. I think if you actually had sort of an oscillating head for like a pressure washer or something like that with a scrubbing head, that would be better here as well. But you can see when they're freshly cleaned, they actually look pretty decent. Some of the stuff doesn't come out, like some of the motor oil stains and some of the deeper stains. Obviously anywhere you physically damage them, I had to go and actually replace some of the tiles. Here's an example of a little bit of a motor oil stain here. You can kind of still see a hint of it. But it's not really too bad. The silver definitely seems to take more stains than the other colors just by virtue of them being light. There's a rust stain in that one there. And so now I'm pulling out the front sections. As you can see, the game of sort of Jenga that I have to do here in order to get the different equipment moved around and then the tiles moved out makes this a lot more difficult for me than it may be for you, depending on what your garage layout could be. And after I vacuum it, Jack and I are going and attacking these again and pressure washing them out. I already have the one side in, putting in the second side and just pulling them in strips, clicking them down. So they definitely go in one way better than the other. And I'm also giving a final rinse off here because they do kind of get dirty just in the process of dragging them in. And now as I move to the front, I'm starting to have a problem here because it's not actually trued up, because my garage is not perfectly rectangular, and so they end up being a little bit out. And we end up having to get a sledgehammer here. Had to roll the lift into the alley actually, and then a sledgehammer to kind of true it all up again. And then from there I can click most of the rest back in. Getting those ones to line up with the ones under the cabinet is a little bit annoying. But there it is. It doesn't look too bad. Total job was a good part of a day. Alright, so got the whole garage back together, got the flooring back in, got the cars in and the desks and so on. And It's actually, I went back and looked at my previous video, and it was actually 8 years of this, so it's not actually 10. So either way, overall the tiles held up amazingly well. Oh, here's Jurassic Jack. The tiles held up extremely well. I only replaced maybe 3 or 4 throughout, and that was a bit surprising to me, but these things are just so solid. Like, they're so robust. But the only way I actually damaged them was when I would either be grinding or welding, and a piece of really, really hot steel would fall in and then melt right through them. So that actually did happen. The other issue I had is motor oil really shows on these silver tiles, and I'll give you some close-ups of what that looks like. And so a lot of the silver tiles don't fare as well as the dark gray or even the blue. The blues show a lot of dust, but they don't seem to take in a lot of stains, unlike the silver, which takes in a lot of stains. So anyway, a few things I learned about the tiles and the cleaning. It was a really hard job, probably took a good 8 hours. I was really sore afterwards. Pulling up flooring is a hard thing to do, whether it's plastic tile or carpet. So one of the things that I learned about it is, so when you're actually pressure washing it, you have to kind of get it up off the ground, because the pressure washer will go through, hit the ground, and any dirt that it has been collecting down there just shoots it back up again. So it gets really hard to clean it, which is why you have to pull it out of here to clean it. Now the pulling it out is what's challenging, and that's for 2 reasons. The first reason is because mine is going from wall to wall, and it actually goes under the baseboards. So that means you actually have to kind of break it in the middle in order to pull them out of segments. And that makes it really hard to get it back in the right spot. So fitting it in when I did it one tile at a time was easy, but trying to fit in very large segments at a time is very difficult. And one of the ways I think you get around that is by only doing the rib tracks tiles where the cars park, and then doing a solid like a diamond tracks tile, and I'll show you a picture of those, along the edges. So if anywhere you have, you know, cabinets, saws, infrastructure, stuff like that that you don't have to pull out when you clean, do that with the solid tile. And there's actually a guy I know, Rick's Audi Double, Rad Garage. He does a lot of detailing. He's also from Calgary. And you'll notice that's what he did. He actually has a different tile around the outside. So he just has to pull out this part where the cars park, sweep it out, pressure wash it, and he's done in a matter of hours. Versus me, you know, it's like a whole day of agony. So that was the other thing that I kind of noticed. But overall, I've been thinking a lot about how I feel about this floor. Like, when I built this was very much of a show garage. I had my Trans Am, you know, everything was the color scheme. It was a brand new build, and it was wonderful. But since then, I've built 2 vehicles in here. I've done a lot of welding in here. I do a lot of woodwork in here, and just daily home repair stuff. And how do I feel about the tile? Well, it's got some ups and some downs, and so we'll kind of go into what those are. So on the positive side, I mean, for parking vehicles, right? Especially in the wintertime, the water just drips through them. The floor stays warm and dry. So you're never kind of dealing with that cold floor experience that you get so often, especially in Canada in the winter. So that's really one positive. Another positive is just the look of it, right? I mean, they look really cool, and that's probably what sold me on them the most, is how cool they look. And the third thing, I'd actually say, if you have a bad garage floor underneath, which I do, this is an economical way to go. Like, trying to restore a floor like that can be really, really challenging. Bye, Jack. So those are kind of really the major positives. And something that I would call is, I don't know if it's a positive or negative, it kind of depends how you feel about it, is the fact that if you generate things like dust and sawdust and things like that, it will just kind of fall through here, and you don't really worry about it until you got to sweep it out later. So that's kind of, you know, you're never cleaning this floor day to day. Like, I clean it once every 2 or 3 years, and that's sort of it. And so for me, that was kind of a positive, but then it does overload you when it actually comes time to clean it out. So those are kind of really the positives and things I like about it. One other thing I'll just mention, you wouldn't think about this. I got this floor jack, but things roll across here and slide across here so easily. It's like curling rocks in here. And that really has its advantages. I can pull most of my saw tables and things around with so much ease. You can kind of throw things across the floor and they just skid across the floor. And I wouldn't have expected that, and you certainly couldn't do that on concrete. Things like my floor jack. We got this thing here, I mean, it's on wheels, floor jack. this stuff all works extremely well on the RibTrax flooring, and it never actually punctures it. In fact, I've maybe punctured this a couple times, and that's when I'm like putting my Duramax onto a single jack stand kind of thing. So anyway, those are kind of the positives. So if those things work for you, great, you'll really like this. And then for the negatives, obviously pulling them out to clean them is a nightmare. A lot of stuff will gather underneath. You can't pressure wash it. That's a lot of work. Second kind of downside, yeah, you can't clean them unless you're willing to do the whole job, which means there's a few times a year when you can get the time and the weather in order to be able to do that. Another downside is this is terrible on bare feet. Like even like if I come out here in my socks, like it hurts to walk on this stuff. So you got to wear shoes. I've noticed they actually have come up with a new product since I put this in, which is a flat RibTrax. So they don't have the rounded surface, or the rounded flutes, if you will. So that might be better for if you want to do a kind of like a poolside thing, because this stuff would be absolutely terrible on the side of a pool in bare feet. So that would be another downside to this. And if you drop small things, small screws or washers or something like that, they're just gone, like literally gone. Like you can spend 25 minutes digging this stuff up and you won't find it again. Sometimes a magnet might save something or get something back, but so if I drop something, I literally don't even try anymore. It's just gone. And I drop a lot of stuff. So I guess those are kind of like the things that I don't like about it. So I guess it would depend. If your shop is mostly for cars and parking, this stuff is amazing. If it's just for show, it's also for amazing. But if you have a really functional shop where you're doing heavy duty welding, auto repairs, spilling lots of oil, things like that, there might be better options out there for you. So that's my pluses and minuses. The floor is clean, 8 years on. I'm still happy with the stuff. And, would I do it again? I think I probably would, with the caveat that areas where I do most of my woodworking and that kind of stuff, I'd go with the Diamondtrax, and then where I park, I would go with the RibTrax. So that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Please like and subscribe and see what I'm up to next. Thanks.